pained with the wickedness in the system. Civil servants. The wickedness in the system is thinking. Your only carrier doing international operations in Nigeria would land and you keep us somewhere in the bush. You are contending not with external conspiracies. There are internal conspiracies within Nigeria.
Why does Nigeria, a country teeming with entrepreneurial spirit and potential, struggle to foster a thriving business environment? Enter the world of Nigerian entrepreneurship, a landscape filled with promise, yet mired in challenges. The story of Mr. Alan Onyema, the founder of Airpeace, serves as a compelling case study. Mr. Onyema, a proud Igbo entrepreneur, faced a multitude of hurdles in his quest to establish Airpeace's route to London. His journey was not marred merely by logistical issues, but rather by a labyrinth of systemic obstacles deeply rooted in the Nigerian governance system. The very individuals tasked with facilitating business operations instead erected barriers driven by tribal, religious, and political biases. In Nigeria, the road to entrepreneurial success is often paved with bureaucratic red tape, corruption, and nepotism. The decision-making process regarding business approvals, licenses, and permits is frequently influenced by tribal and religious affiliations. Those in authority often favor those from their own ethnic or religious groups, pushing others to the margins and stifling their entrepreneurial dreams. Corruption, a pervasive and insidious element, further compounds these challenges. Bribery and extortion are commonplace, fortifying the power of the elite and obstructing the path of hardworking entrepreneurs like Mr. Onyema. Particularly for entrepreneurs of Igbo descent, this landscape is fraught with discrimination and marginalization despite their substantial contributions to Nigeria's economy. They often find themselves disadvantaged, sidelined in favor of counterparts from other ethnic groups. The repercussions of this systemic suppression of entrepreneurship are far-reaching. Economic growth is stunted, innovation is hampered, opportunities for social mobility are a rare commodity. Nigeria's potential to flourish as a vibrant hub of commerce and innovation remains an unrealized dream, overshadowed by the greed and incompetence of those in power. For Nigeria to truly advance and prosper, it must confront the root causes of its stifling business environment. Reforms that curb corruption, champion meritocracy, and promote inclusivity are not just necessary, they're urgent. Only then can entrepreneurs, irrespective of their ethnic or religious background, truly flourish and contribute to Nigeria's socio-economic development. So stand up for Nigerian entrepreneurs. Support their dreams, their ambitions, their drive to make a difference. Because when entrepreneurs succeed, Nigeria succeeds. And that's a future worth fighting for. This video isn't just a story, it's a call to action. A call to you, the viewer, to aid in our mission of fostering a more equitable entrepreneurial environment in Nigeria. Share this video. Let the leaders of Nigeria hear our collective voices. Let them realize the untapped potential that lies within our entrepreneurs, stifled by corruption and discrimination. We don't just need policy changes, we need a change of heart. A turn from nepotistic ways, from favoritism and discrimination based on ethnic or religious lines. We need leaders who will prioritize the nation's growth over personal gain. Leaders who understand that for Nigeria to truly flourish, every citizen must be given a fair chance to succeed. Patriotism isn't just about waving the flag, it's about ensuring a level playing field for all citizens. It's about championing meritocracy and inclusivity, about fostering an environment where dreams aren't stifled by corruption but are nurtured towards fruition. By reinforcing confidence in our entrepreneurs, by making them believe that their dreams are valid and achievable, we can foster economic growth. We can build a better Nigeria, a Nigeria where dreams aren't just dreams, but realities waiting to be achieved. So, share this video, spread the word, and together let's make a difference. Now let's turn our attention to a beacon of hope amidst the challenges. Mr. Alan Onyema, the founder of Airpeace, a Nigerian airline. Despite the numerous hurdles, Onyema managed to navigate the turbulent skies of Nigerian entrepreneurship to establish a successful airline. Today, air peace is not just a testament to Onyema's indomitable spirit, but also a symbol of what Nigerian entrepreneurs can achieve when given a fair opportunity. Onyema's voice narrates his journey, the initial struggles, the moments of despair, and the eventual triumph when his airline finally landed in the heart of London. Onyema, there were times when it seemed impossible, when the corruption and discrimination seemed too much to fight against, but I believed in my dream. I believed in Nigeria and its potential. And today, as our planes land in London, I can say that it was all worth it. After hearing Onyema's inspiring story, we sit down with him for an interview. We delve deeper into his journey, the lessons he's learned, and his dreams for the future of Nigerian entrepreneurship. So stay tuned as we continue this enlightening conversation. Remember, every shared story, every raised voice is a step towards a better Nigeria. Share this video, keep the conversation going, and let's make a difference together.
He'll lift you up, erase the pain, love and never stray. Call upon his name, he's the light of darkest day.
If I dwell so much on the, I would like to look forward, because if you start discussing all the challenges that faced us towards achieving this London route, honestly, you feel like crying, you feel like weeping. First of all, you suffer what I call both internal and external conspiracies. It took us 7 years. We got the designation, I think about 6.5 years ago, to go into London. Since then, it has been cat and mouse game. We actually procured our 3 777s because of this route, not for any other route, because we wanted to give it the blow that it deserved as at that time. However, we were not allowed to go. It's not just, whether you like it or not, there's what we call international aeropolitics, which is very dirty. We applied to get, for the TCO. TCO means Third Country Operators Permit. You must get that, excuse me. You must get that one before you start going into any European country, UK inclusive. And the TCO organization from Europe wrote our Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, do you know Air Peace? Do you know about their designation? And we were denied. My own country denied us. So they threw it back. Went back to the NCA, they said, oh, we didn't tell you. You didn't tell them. Who designated us? The Minister of Aviation, the Federal Minister of Aviation, whose duty it was, and still is, to do that. Well, we said, okay, we are ready. They refused. They said, until they allow us to apply. So, you got designation from the federal government, and the NCA, under the same federal government, was telling you that you should not make any application towards going into the UK. Meanwhile, you gave us the nod to go to China, go to India. China is 14 hours, about 13 hours going to Guangzhou and 14 hours coming back. India is about 12 now because of the closure of the Sudanese airspace. About 12 going, about 13 coming back. Yet, you didn't find this airline worthy to go into the UK, 6 hours, piece of cake. For an airline that is doing over 160 hours of flying daily in this country, no other airline in the entire West and Central Africa does that much. 160 hours of flying, unblemished, no issues. What is 6 hours? Yet they stopped us. So the game is both from within and without. We were stopped. I would never stop saying it. So we continue this cat and mouse game with the NCA until Captain Musa Nuhu, during his time, said, enough is not enough. APs must be allowed to go in. What is the issue? Remember, they told us to Okay, when the heat became so much, when I gave them a lot of heat, they said, okay, you need to prove to us that you'll be able to pass the TCO. For goodness sake, if I don't pass the TCO, it doesn't mean anything, then I leave. But allow me to go. They said, no, we must prove to them that we're able to pass the TCO. I said, okay, you come and audit us based on the TCO standards. They said, no, you have to get IATA, some consultancy firms from IATA to do that. IATA must conduct that and give their results. We paid, I'm sure it cost over 200 million. We brought IATA. IATA conducted a TCO audit on airpiece dump. Remember, we are IOSA certified, so I don't know why the need for that. We passed. It took several months before IATA even came. We passed. Then they wrote to NCAA that you should allow them to proceed to go and do the audit with the TCO Europe. They didn't respond. Several months passed, going up to a year. We went back to them and told them that, look, it is better you come out and say why the reason for all this, or I'll go to the press and say it, and I withdraw. But mind you, this country is being fleeced by all the airlines going to London from this place. People were paying 5 times more than they should have been paying. All sorts of reasons were being given to this. And you're saying you don't have capacity. You have 3 777s, worth several hundreds of millions of dollars lying out there, fully purchased by this airline. That was when they said, okay. We are now going to audit you ourselves. Not minding the result of the IATA people they recommended. At first, I didn't want to acquiesce to that. My chief operating officer, Mrs. Toyin Olajide, said, Oga, please, let's follow them. So I agreed. They came and audited. No, nothing, of course. I found nothing. It was at that point, Musa Nuhu said, enough is enough. Airpeace must be allowed to access the London market and cancelled whatever the other people put in place and allowed us to go. Now, the British people came with their TCO audit. They didn't spend 48 hours with Airpeace. It's one of the most stringent audits you can think of. When you said, what have we learned? The difference between us and some Nigerian airlines that went there in the past was that they didn't have that TCO audit. They didn't have, though that was not enough to have made them to go down. And their going down was not because they were not good. I will tell you, even in the last 1 week, what we have seen, if we are not, if God is not with us, we would have said, okay, let's go. Let's close it before we start losing money left, right, and center. Those Nigerian airlines were dealt with under the dirty international aeropolitics, and they suffered for it. So I knew all this, and I said, I must go bona fide into the UK. I must get it as of right. When you get the TCO, if you pass it, and you get your FCOP, that your permit now to operate, that is the best. But do you know when we applied, the UK people told us, you know, this TCO is true. You may not be able to pass it like the other Nigerian airlines. You may not be able to get it. Why not look for partnership or get wet lease from a UK carrier or European carrier? Once you fall to that trap of depending on wet lease alone for your operations, they will deal with you. They could use those people. They wake up one morning and tell you that, you know what, for one reason or the other, we cannot continue. Yeah. And your operations are destabilized. Yeah. And they treat you so condescendingly. But Airpeace went in there very strong. We passed the TCO audit. There was nothing they could do. In fact, there was a day they wrote us something that would take about 39 pages, expecting us to take about 2 or 3 months to complete it. We completed it in 2 hours because these were processes we are used to. I keep on telling Nigerians, the safety protocol in airpeace is second to none in the world. It's unfortunate that we don't believe in our own. Those 777s you're seeing are being maintained by the world's most expensive and the best MRO. It was Israeli aerospace industries. I pay that much because I want safety. Our safety department, our engineering departments, the maintenance departments are top notch. If I'm lying, let NCS say so. After all, ICAO came to Nigeria. Who did they audit? It was airpeace. If we had failed, Nigeria would have failed. So Nigerians should start believing in their own. This penchant for slave mentality and colonial mentality, believing that we cannot get it right, it's a lie.
All right, let me come in here because, thank you for taking us down, even though you didn't want to revisit the past, but I think it was quite important for this conversation to share with us the journey to getting to where you are so people can appreciate even more, the fact that we're celebrating the first, at least on Saturday, the first airpeace flight to London Gatwick. Now, since Saturday, you've had 48 hours operation. I would assume or imagine that even in this 48 hours, it might seem like maybe 48 months in terms of what you've experienced. And just touching on where you left off as to how well have Nigerians embraced this, airpeace going to London. And we see the impact already. Some foreign airlines, even though there are many reasons given for the drop in airfares, but I think we've begun to see the significance of this flight. So please share with us, what has the experience been like in 48 hours? Have Nigerians embraced this, both home and Nigerians in the diaspora?
Normally when you start a new destination on your inaugural flight, when coming back, you may have a lot of people going in, but when coming back, you might fly empty. Yeah. On the first day, you might fly less than 10% of the capacity of the aircraft. But that wasn't the case here. Our flights are already sold out into over a month. Coming into, in fact, sometimes we block seats. We block sales. So Nigerians have embraced this. Nigerians are happy. It's as if some kind of burden has been lifted off their shoulders. A situation where Nigerians were paying, my own staff paid 15 million naira on business class for a 6-hour flight to the UK. Some people paid 17 million. Then because some people couldn't pay, Nigerians were going to South Africa, fly 6 hours to South Africa, come from there, overfly Nigeria airspace to go to London, another 9 or 10 hours, just to get a cheaper fare. Nigerians were going to Morocco, Egypt, Qatar, 8 hours to Qatar, layover about 3 hours, you do another 8 hours to the UK, just to get something cheaper. Then if you want to fly direct, it's a different ball game. The humongous fare was unbearable for them. When we came on stream, and this is why we say, support your indigenous operators. They will do well. When we came, and are the only ones that can save the country. When we came in, what we did was, assuming we slashed the 15 million to 10 million, people will still clap for us. But no, we brought it to where it belonged. We brought it down to 4 million naira. We are not losing by doing 4 million naira. That I can tell you. We brought it to 4 million naira, brought the other one, that's business class, from 4 million, the other one from 1.2, and at the same time giving students rebate. So immediately, the same airlines that were giving dollar as an excuse for the fleecing of my country came down within 24 hours. Airpeace distorted the market. All of them started coming down within 24 hours, started begging people, doing social media, brands all over the place, and brought their fares from 15, 17 million to 5 million. Now even begging people to come on. So Nigerians embraced airpeace. Yesterday at the airport I met someone who told me, look, Alan, God will bless you. Look at my family of 6. I had to cancel my flight with one of the direct carriers. With all the money they subtracted for my cancellation, I still made gain flying Airpeace. What I would have used in flying 2 members of my family, I'm using it to fly 6 members of the family. Thanks to you. That even now, if I want to go back to those carriers to fly, it has become far cheaper. So, Nigeria, when you say what has it been like?
Yeah.
Right from the day we announced we published our fares, even that inaugural flight got sold out within days. It got sold out within days. And even up to September. So the traffic is there. However, the last 48 hours has not been easy. First of all, you are told by Gatwick Airport to deposit 3 million or 2-point-something million pounds before you start. For goodness sake, those British Airways and Virgin, are they paying that amount of money to Nigerian airport as security deposit? And when you ask them, I say, okay, when are we going to get this money back? And they would tell you, no, until you stop flying to Gatwick, until you stop flying. So for the rest of your life, you put there. So we started negotiation. They brought it down to some level. The fact is that all the ground handling, when they want to deal with you, they use everybody around you. The ground handling companies, you must pay this and that as security deposit. Catering, 740,000 pounds, that's over 1.6 billion. A security deposit that they will keep forever. It's not as if they'll be drawing down from the money. I've never seen such a thing before, and they don't do it to other people. That's the truth. So they let all this. In fact, on our inaugural flight out of London, we were given a particular place for check-in. For the past 1 month, we knew this would be our check-in. That was where the trainings were done, everything done. Then a few days to the inaugural flight out of London, you changed it and gave us a place where the carousel was not working. On our first day, we left this country. We wanted to make sure we post 100%, not 90, on-time departure, going to London and coming back. On the first day out of Nigeria, with all the fanfare at the airport, we didn't delay our flight. We went right before time. And we arrived UK 20 minutes before time. But the check-in process was cumbersome because they put us in a place where you have to check in somebody, then carry the load manually to go and drop in another place. They made us pass through all this. The next thing, your boarding gate, they say, oh, the system has broken down, it's not working again. All those antics. If they don't use them, they use the to me, they should allow us be. That's the truth. But these are unspoken. These are unspoken. You might expect more. They can even use your catering. Okay. So it doesn't end there. But it's been good. We are trying to roughen it out roughing up with them. Okay,
good. So I'm happy you made some clarification because I started seeing some, narrative being pushed around that you had to partner with some local European airlines, sort of like a, lease agreement to go in. So it is totally Airpeace, totally our own indigenous crew, totally our food. I can see some very sumptuous Nigerian foods there,
Goat meat pepper soup.
Goat meat pepper soup. Oh, that's really lovely in disguise, Dr. Batsi. I'm sure you would want to do that. So totally all of our thing out there. Secondly, I'd like to ask, because I had a chance to fly the last airline that went in there, that was Medview. I had flown them to London a couple of times. And these are the same politics too they played with Medview that they've started with you. My question will be, who are those who fight for you in Nigeria? I saw the Minister of Aviation there. Is he fighting, for Airpeace and Nigeria? Secondly, the government of Antigua even called you to come and partner with them as regards their airline. When is Nigeria going to call you and say, this thing we're trying to do with Ethiopian airline that we got burnt for, why can't you take it over? Because you've shown capacity. As a local airline, you're going to Mumbai, you're going to Guangzhou, now you're going to London. You were talking about prospects of probably next year going to Frankfurt in Germany, Amsterdam, cover most parts of Europe, probably Paris, Charles de Gaulle. When will the government now say, this is our own, let us support him, let him be the carrier for Nigeria?
Well, let me start from your last question. The truth is, yes, we need government support. All the Nigerian airlines, we all need government support. However, on the issue of singling out Airpeace to be the national carrier, we're not interested. Let Nigeria support the indigenous airlines. We are all flag carriers. Airpeace is a flag carrier. Max Air is a flag carrier. Asman is a flag carrier. When you fly out of your country, you become a flag carrier. Those ones do Jeddah, they do Hajj, they're all flag carriers when they're doing such things. Why I say so is that in America, you don't have a national carrier. They have Delta and others. They support them. Even British Airways and Virgin are not national carrier, but the British government supports them. If you touch Delta here, America will bring its might to bear on you. If you touch Virgin Atlantic, Britain will do the same thing to you. They won't say it belongs to Richard Branson. Nobody says that. In our own country, what we are pleading, I like when you said support, let them, the ease of doing business, let them even do that for the indigenous airlines and see us blossom. Instead of bad-mouthing these airlines that pass through all manner of problems. Let me tell you what happened yesterday at the international airport. When our own aircraft landed, thank God I was there. This thing had happened before. We reported to FAN. And let me excuse the leadership of FAN here. Mrs. Olubumi Kuku is doing fantastically well. Himself and the director of air operations, Captain Ablahi Mahmoud, they are pained. They are pained with the wickedness in the system. Civil servants. The wickedness in the system is thinking. Your only carrier doing international operations in Nigeria would land and you keep us somewhere in the bush, disused side of the airport, and they expect us to be busing passengers, bringing rickety buses to come and take international passengers to the new terminal, where these foreign airlines rejected when they opened. It was Airpeace, because it's my country, that decided to go in there. They begged Airpeace to do that. We went in there. When they did the runway, they wanted to do runway analysis after the lighting. It was Airpeace Nigeria begged. They didn't have money to fuel a 777. A 777 consumes about 8,800 liters of fuel per hour. It was Airpeace they brought to come and test it. We even told them, let's use our smaller planes because of the cost. They said, no, it's a 777 they will need. We did it free of charge. I don't want to enumerate things we've done for both the government and people of this country. Now, the new airport, you will park us 2 kilometers away from the terminal. Then you expect us to be doing bus, whatever. That plane that landed yesterday, it would have taken about 6 hours for people to exit that airport. Because first of all, they put us near Nako Shed, very far. Nobody is using that end. No aircraft, not even foreign or local, nothing there. That was where they told my pilot to park. Meanwhile, C-23 at the new terminal was open, where you can just park the aircraft and the aviation bridge will key in. And when my captain called, he said they reserved it for a foreign airline. I said,
really?
Yes. Quote me.
At the expense
of a Nigerian airline.
A Nigerian airline?
Yes, they did it before. They did it before. One of my captains, Captain Kalisto Sifai, disobeyed them. And they wanted to punish him. I came out. And Olubumi Kuku and his team, his management, criticized that. In fairness to her, they criticized that. Now it happened again yesterday. Our aircraft from London was to be packed in one bush 2 kilometers or so, or 1.5 kilometers to our terminal. Full flight. Full flight. So imagine the time it would take to take people from that place to the terminal building. Imagine the time it would take to offload before it start going into the carousel that are not even working very perfectly okay. It would have been taking about 9 hours. Nigerians would have hated airpeace because they would know. And that was the game. So you are contending not with external conspiracies. There are internal conspiracies within Nigeria. Some Nigerians they are praying that we fail. But the good thing is that nobody is God. And the good thing is that 90% of our countrymen and women are very happy. That's our consolation. But there are people out there, but they are in the minority, so negligible. I don't even bother about them because they cannot scratch a piece. Whatever they write or whatever they do cannot scratch this airline. But it happened yesterday. And when the woman discovered that she was livid with rage, I mean the MD of FAN. So, but look at what I did. I called my operation control center who could reach the pilot because I couldn't connect with the pilot. I called my OCC. I told them, tell that pilot not to move that aircraft. Block that taxiway. No airline in the world would have been able to park yesterday. And that was what happened. British Airways landed. That was when they started making moves to tell us to go to where we rightly belonged. And remember, this woman had said on television, they had that, when she said that a place had been dedicated for airpeace as the home airline. When you go to Britain, you have an entire Terminal 5 for BA. Then in my own country, some civil servants or some people didn't see. And the DG of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority was on board my aircraft. About 4 senior staff of NCA were on board of that aircraft. And he had to go, because they delayed the flight about 30 minutes. Standing in one place for 30 minutes. What kind of country is this? So when the DG who was on board contacted the captain to know what is happening, and I think he went into the cockpit, and they called the people in tower, the airport control people. And the captain told the airport control that even the DG of NCA is on board this aircraft. And the guy said, and so what? That will show you some people's determination not to, they don't see beyond their noses. But that wickedness will not last. And one thing is that anybody that fights me or fights anything I'm interested in will have himself hurt and regretful at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, the thing that is surprising is that isn't there a mechanism in place to make sure that this kind of thing does not happen again? Yes, Nigerians can be very cruel towards their own compatriots. But if there's a system in place, then that system will make sure this does not happen again. After all, Festus Keyamo, the Minister of Aviation, was at the inauguration of the flight, and he was pledging support when he was talking about reciprocity and all of that. And we're hoping that maybe the Nigerian authorities will also reciprocate with regard to this security deposit. Those are the kind of details they can work on to make sure that they provide necessary support. But he mentioned BASA. Keyamo, when he was talking, mentioned BASA. The UK has 21 slots coming into Nigeria per week. Now, British Airways alone does 14 into Nigeria. So how many slots do you have now to go into the UK? That's one. The second thing is the Aviation Roundtable is proposing what they call a Fly Nigeria Act, by which the Nigerian government, both at the national level and at the state levels, will make sure that any government official that is flying at government expense would travel with a Nigerian airline. Okay. What do you think of that proposal? Even if the individuals say they have a choice. But if government is paying, do you think we need that act?
Fine. Let me just a second digress. And Rufai asked me a question about the support from the minister. The truth is that the minister is very supportive. And because he's very supportive, some are even accusing him of, are you sure you don't have shares in Airpeace? Some within the system, within the same aviation. So, and that, they don't know that what Airpeace is doing is fighting for the entire industry, because the sky is open for all of them. If Airpeace does not get it right this time, it will be very difficult for any other Nigerian airline, because we know what we have put in place. So the young minister is doing his bit. He went with us to the UK when they were giving us slots of 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that kind of, he went to them and said, look, If you continue this, we will reciprocate in equal terms. He made it clear. So he has been out there. The trip he made to France was to seek the collaboration of lessors worldwide so that they could be leasing planes on dry lease instead of wet lease to Nigerian airlines. When I see some write-ups, people say, oh, Nigerian airlines, they are doing lease, all this Delta and the rest, they show capacity, they own their planes, they own nothing. All those legacy airlines all over the world, they don't own those planes. What they do is they make order, say 100 planes, give the specification they want on those aircraft. Then, of course, a finance company comes in, these lessors, they pay for those planes, lease them to them, they operate for a good number of years and return them. They'll be paying lease rental. That's what they do. Those airlines don't own those planes. Quote me, they don't own them. They belong to lessors. They later return it after some years. So in Nigeria, if you lease aircraft, they say, oh, you've committed crime, you've done this, you've done that. Give it to Nigerian Airlines. We own our planes. I own over 30-something planes, and I have about 33 orders paid for, that are on the line coming. So at the end of the day, peace will be owning over 60 aircraft. I don't think there's any airline in Africa, in fact, most part of the world, they don't own it themselves. They are financed. While in Nigeria, you are expected to do this. That's why the capacity is not increasing the way it's being done abroad. And this is what President Keyamo is trying to do. This president will praise Keyamo at the end of the day if he succeeds in getting that. Because ECA visited me. They said, Epis, we see what you're doing. You're very strong. We know country risk. Because of country risk, that's why they're not giving dry lease to Nigeria. Instead, they will do wet lease. Now, wet lease is very expensive. It's very, very expensive. But you have to do it because you don't have access to dry lease. You have to do this to support your operations. Like even in the London thing, we are bringing North Atlantic to partner with us as backup, not as the main act. Because we want to be strong. What of one day, any of your 3 aircraft, anything happens to them? You don't want to disappoint anybody. And when you do such things, Nigerians will be criticizing this, that. They've forgotten that Virgin Atlantic and Delta are doing the same thing. France and KLM are doing the same thing.
Air France, KLM.
Air France, KLM are doing the same thing. So, and it's not for free. You pay for those things. There are other areas they use you too. So you pay for those things. It's not an arrangement where you go and bring somebody from behind the door to come and be running international operations in your country. No, it's not the same thing.
So you have that wet list with no
Yes, I have it as backup.
Okay. As
backup. So if you have any issues, you can key in through the other one. They can key in through us too, if there are any issues. Then about, you talked about
about slots. How many slots do you have into Gatwick?
Yeah.
Under the principle of reciprocity,
we are doing 7 now, daily flights into Gatwick. Nigeria, we have a balance of about 14 to do. We are ready. If the government gives us Abuja, London, I will do it. I will do it because we are expecting more aircraft into the country. Purchased by Airpeace. Purchased by Airpeace. We will do it. If we get it, we'll do it. Like we are planning to hit New York or Houston towards the end of the year. Because we are bringing in more 777s. As I speak to you, my staff that are in California, the Engineering Technical Services Department, that in California now inspecting some 3 777s we want to acquire, we want to buy. So if we could get them in the next 2 or 3 months, then of course we are good to go anyway. Right. You have six of them.
But what do you think of this Fly Nigeria bill?
Of course. In America, as an American public officer, you are never allowed to fly any other airline except an American airline. You don't do that with public funds. If you're traveling on your own, it's a different thing. But if you're going for government business, you're traveling, it must be yours. So in this case, if there are Nigerian airlines going to certain destinations, you must be they should be told to use those Nigerian airlines.
Then-
That will help to conserve our reserves.
Yeah.
Then the civil servants you talked about civil servants frustrating operations. We are all Nigerians. These civil servants, have you seen them? Are you planning to see them and see them regularly? You know, in Nigerian fashion. Because they will say this man has just launched a route to London before our very eyes here, and he has not come to see us. I mean, this is Nigeria. You know Virgin Nigeria left here, or is it Virgin Atlantic? One of the complaints was that it was a difficult to do business. And you are in Nigeria, you know the terrain. I mean, these civil servants, they also expect, they are not just Ulubome Kuku and the people who are doing the job.
I said something the other time when you said most lucrative route. It may not be, it may be most lucrative, because they've been allowed to make it most lucrative. The costs are high also over there, but they've been allowed over time by shutting out indigenous operators and doing it on themselves, and then charging all manner of fares that made it very lucrative. But now that we've come in, it won't be as that lucrative, because our return, fixed cost, is 372 million. Fixed costs of those planes flying out of Nigeria and coming back, fixed, not variable cost, is 372 million naira. Yes. On the 372 million. So if so you have to distribute this 372 million naira along the seats to be able to make sure you cover your costs. So now that we've come in, it will not be as lucrative as it used to be. But APIS has done something for this government. President Tinubu was being bad-mouthed by some foreign interests, especially airlines, on the issue of these trap funds. Not only trap funds, the exorbitant fares that we are charging Nigerians. They say, oh, because your dollar, your naira has been devalued and your naira doesn't have value anymore, you must pay us in dollar, or you pay naira as humongous as they wanted. Each time a Nigerian was going to buy these tickets, they were bad-mouthing our president. They say it was the president that caused it. Now, APIS came, the dollar was still the same 1,600 and something as at the time we brought down these fares. We brought it down. They followed immediately within 24 hours, brought it down to 5 million. So did the dollar change at that time? It never changed. So they were actually demonizing our country for nothing. So APIS has saved billions for this country. Billions of money that would have left this country. Billions of naira that this would have used to go into the market and buy dollar at any amount, because they made so much gain.
How do you cope with FX issues real quickly?
Well, that is where we need government support. Just like Egypt did. Egypt, they gave their airlines a window to get forex so easily. In our own case, we don't have it. We still have our own money trapped in the central bank. We still have our own money not being paid by Hajj 1 year after operating the Hajj. Meanwhile, the president has released this money.
Central Bank has not paid you. Central Bank has not paid you part of money owed.
They've not paid us our 14 million trapped that we made, this bidding, forward bidding.
Okay.
You have my naira borrowed at 26%. Now Fidelity has changed it to about 30%. Borrow that money is there. Dollar, you didn't get back. Naira, you've not gotten back. I'm a Nigerian airline trying to see what I can do. We need that money released to us.